we had like a 4 week vacation. Oh, there we go. And I think we had like a 4 week vacation in between these sessions. So thank you, La Renee, for volunteering again. This is round two. She came on earlier last year. So really
Mhm.
appreciate her volunteering. For any of you who need additional tips and tricks for interviewing, resume writing, LinkedIn, networking, etc., please do feel free to check out my YouTube channel and then also the Alberts list, which I now got to start adding on here. Is it just like this, Alberts list? Albert's List YouTube channel as well. So you can check out both of ours. And La Renee, I guess if you want to give a background, a quick introduction about yourself to the audience.
Mhm. Okay, so I recently, well, I didn't recently graduate, but I graduated 3 years ago with the bachelor's in collaborative health and human services with a concentration in public health and public administration. From there, I started working for nonprofits in the Bay Area. And at my current position as a marketing project manager, as well as the outreach planner, that's where I learned about my passion about marketing and working on project management and marketing campaigns.
Cool. Awesome. And today we are going to be practicing for actually it's an upcoming interview, so this is super exciting. Congratulations. Good luck. Good luck. It's tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
Please root for me, guys.
Yes, yes. Let's show some love for her in the chat. And so she has an upcoming interview tomorrow for a marketing assistant role. This is a pretty interesting role because it's going to be sort of a jack of all, Jamie of all, as she puts here, Jamie of all trades, marketing, business development, administration, and accounting. It's going to be quite a doozy, but hopefully we can get you prepared for all of that. And so we are going to be diving on in here. If there's any questions from folks in the audience on Zoom or on Facebook, please let us know. Just feel free to put it in the chat and we'll run through your questions also. All right, La Renee, are you ready to get started?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. And for context, she did interview with us before, so I am not repeating any of the same questions that we went through last time. La Renee, thank you so much for applying to my marketing assistant role. Very excited to interview you today. Can you tell me about your marketing experience?
Well, I've started my marketing experience about 2 years ago with SourceWise. I primarily work on marketing campaigns for internal programs that we have at SourceWise, such as our Meals on Wheels program, our Family Caregiver Support program, as well as a few others. It's just where the branding and the we do the branding as well as the marketing materials for of the whole of SourceWise. So that goes as far as print, online content, writing newsletters, um, uh, email campaigns as well. Mm.
Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Very good start. I pulled up this job description here because they also listed some core competencies that they would like their ideal candidate to have. And so if you could throw in a few of these buzzwords that would match the job description or talk a little bit about either your exposure to them or your experience with them. I know you mentioned a little bit about the newsletter and print. You also mentioned a little bit about, I believe, online advertising. But if you could also talk a little bit more about like what you've done for SEO or some copywriting stuff that you've done, or if you want to talk about the overall marketing strategy that you are working on for SourceWise, just to give them a bit of a sense of your marketing skill set. Also, I really like that you didn't repeat a lot of stuff that's already on the resume. That's very good. You gave a little bit of additional context, which is perfect. You want to talk about some of those projects too. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the scope of it, right? Like how many people receive your newsletter, how many people are usually open these things or come to your events, et cetera, et cetera. I believe you were going to say something.
Um, it's as far as the cultural competencies, those three main things are something I do struggle with the marketing strategy. Like it's pretty much we're just being told what we do, being told what to do, And that's pretty much it. There's not really a strategy behind it.
Well, there is a strategy behind it, right? Even if you're not the
Mhm.
one that's coming up with it, which it sounds like maybe someone else is coming up with a strategy and then giving you the responsibility of executing that strategy,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
you could still talk about the overall marketing strategy for SourceWise, right? Like even as an
Mhm.
employee or as someone who's executing, I would want to make sure that I understand the marketing strategy, even though I'm not the one that came up with it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be something you could weave into your answer as well.
Yeah, and then I don't I still am not understanding the search engine optimization
Hmm.
operation. Is that what it's called?
Hmm. Yep.
Um, Writing. I never done that before, and it's like it's kind of hard to connect marketing and then nonprofit marketing. Um, because I haven't really delved into it yet. I haven't
Hmm.
had the opportunity to, or even be told that, hey, this is what you're doing, or
Hmm.
what that looks like.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Yep,
yeah.
yep. So, and if there's scenarios like this for, and even for other folks who are watching, where there's a core competency that they're looking for that you don't necessarily have exposure to yet, some of these things you can actually do research on and figure out what they are about and how they could potentially be incorporated into your role. And then talk just a little bit about that. SEO itself is something you can just do a little bit of research on, read up on, figure out how it works, and then you can even acknowledge sometimes, right? Like I know SEO is a core competency that you're looking for. It may not be a direct part of my role. There's something stuck in my throat here. It may not be a direct part of my role, but I am very familiar with how it works and how it, like how I could be doing certain things with our blog or our newsletter or our website to be more optimized.
Mm,
And then you can just talk about, I don't know if there's like SEO concepts or like buzzwords or things you can mention in your interview, just to give them some confidence that you actually, even though you haven't done it, you may still be able to do it if given the opportunity.
mm. Okay. Yeah. Copywriting, editing. I feel like I have done that, writing for, like particularly with our newsletter as well as
Mm.
our, I would say our context of if we're introducing a new program, like just reminding him like, hey, here's the situation, here's how we can help you. So I kind of feel like that's a connection of copywriting.
Yeah, and also if you have to create those print ads, right, that you were talking about, you're writing
Mhm.
copy for those advertisements, right, to get people to come to your events or to donate or to do X, Y, and
Right.
Z. So, especially since you're coming from the nonprofit side, you may want to use this opportunity to connect those dots for people,
Okay.
right? Cool. All righty. Was there something in the chat? No, no, no. Okay. All righty. Next question. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Can you tell me about a time when you had to learn a new skill and how you did it?
Well, it was actually my first time doing project management ever. So, actually working with a team of 4 people, as well as working with someone outside of the program. And I think my first project was when I had to train another team on how to do outreach a for a service that we provide during the summertime. So actually learning how to introduce myself to another program and actually identifying how to work with them and how to ensure that the things that I'm providing to them is needed, and use myself as a resource to them. So one of the challenge that I did run into is just learning how to work with someone else and their level of expertise on using a computer. So just finding out what I can do to make sure that not only my process is easy, but as well as theirs. Um, And so far, since that situation, I've developed lesson learns, opportunities, and wins from so forth and over of getting um, as I get more projects each time. Sorry if that doesn't make sense.
Okay, so the new skill that you were trying to learn was project management, right?
Mhm.
And then you were trying to teach someone else how to do project management? Is that what I'm understanding from your answer?
No, I was trying to teach someone else how to do outreach for SourceWise.
Okay. And how is that related to the learning project management? Just so I'm able to put the
Um,
dots together.
oh, okay. So the project was to do outreach. To I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm getting so
That's okay.
scared.
You're
So
doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great.
um, so basically, we were supposed to be doing the marketing side and outreach side of our program called Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, and I was tasked to manage the outreach portion of the project. So I had to manage that part. And one of the deliverables that I did have was to teach a different program um, how to do outreach and um, how to do how to do a resource table when in public. So gathering the training materials, gathering information on what their understanding is, and basically training them on how to count how many people went to the event, how many caregivers went to the event. So basically training on that.
Got it. Okay. 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 So I
Mm-hmm.
think this example is a little confusing just because you're explaining how you learned a new skill by having to teach
Mm-hmm.
another person a new skill,
Mm-hmm.
which can make the narrative a little confusing for people to follow, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense, right?
Okay.
So I think you should stick with learning project management because that's like a really good skill set to have in almost any role.
Mm-hmm.
It's I instead of just talking about how you had to teach someone else how to set up this outreach program, I think you should just talk about how you learned key project management skills and then just talk about how you were able to leverage those skills to execute a well-run outreach program with someone who's never
Okay.
done it before.
Okay.
Now, the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of the question around tell me about a time you had to learn a new skill and how you did it is because for this role, right, you can see there's multiple different facets of it: marketing, business development, administration, accounting. So, most likely, they're not going to be able to find somebody that already has marketing, business development, administration, and accounting skills. They're going to need to hire somebody that most likely just has marketing skills, right? Because this is called a marketing assistant role. So, the
Mm-hmm.
hiring manager is going to want to know, okay, if I hire you and you only know marketing, or maybe marketing and admin, or maybe marketing and business development, you only have two of the four. How
Mm-hmm.
do I know that you'll be able to quickly learn the other two skills that I need you to know to be good at this job? So that's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
where you may have some type of question like this. Now, how to answer this is to talk about a new skill, obviously, but then the really important part here is being able to break down how you were able to understand it either so quickly or so effectively or so efficiently, and how it led to a really good result. That's the important part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a trap that a lot of people fall into is, I learned project management. How did you learn it? I went to Google. I went to Google and I Googled how to be a good project manager, and then I read those articles, and then I followed it, and I did a good job. Even though that's probably realistically how everybody learns a new skill, in an interview setting, that doesn't give the hiring manager any confidence that if I told you to figure out how to do accounting, could
Mm-hmm.
you go ahead and do it? Like, what if you don't Google the right things? What if Google tells you to do the opposite thing? Like, accounting is kind of complex, right? So, like, can you figure it all out just through a Google search? So, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to break down this really complex problem of like project management and then
Okay.
explain to them how you were able to figure it out so quickly.
Okay.
You want to try and give this one a go? I know it's a tough question, but you want to try and give it a shot?
Uh-huh, sure. Give me 2 minutes to condense my thoughts, or
Mm-hmm.
2 seconds.
Yep, no worries, no worries.
Okay. So the skill that I learned is how to do project management in the way SourceWise does it. And how I found that out is by actually reviewing previous projects that had previously been done. And then with the information that I've gathered, connect with my stakeholder or my sponsor and ask them specific questions about, okay, what are deliverables? How do I contact stakeholders? How do I execute a project within Asana? And from there, I was able to gain more insight as well as more information on how to run a smooth project. So starting off with the kickoff for questions and a Q&A session with my stakeholders. And then from there, as I became more familiar with project management and doing multiple small and large projects with other colleagues, that's how I was able to learn project management as a whole.
Nice.
Okay.
Now, I would just add to that the result of your project, right? Which you were talking
Okay.
about with that outreach project. So then they can hear how you learned it and then you applied it and it was a success. And then you're all good.
Okay. Okay.
There you go. Look at that. Live coaching, everybody.
I
And
know.
you
I'm
too can
sorry.
get
Side
live
note.
coaching from a professional if you volunteer for Albert's List mock interview sessions on Monday nights.
Yeah, I've really had a really bad day. So like
That's okay. You're doing great.
hearing
You're
something
doing
good
really
makes
good.
me feel good. Yeah.
Yes, you're doing really good. You're doing really, really good. And I'm sure
Okay.
everybody here is super appreciative of you volunteering. This is not easy putting yourself in front of everybody. So let me just check Facebook, make sure I don't have anything missing on Facebook. Anyone say anything in the chat? Dun, dun, dun. Nope, nope,
Thank
nothing,
you,
nothing yet.
Judy.
Just love and support in the chat right now. Okay. La Renee, what is your greatest strength?
Mm. I'm sorry, someone was in the background. My greatest strength is that I have great interpersonal skills. I can easily connect with stakeholders. I can easily connect with vendors and gather much information and communicate that. Sorry, scratch that. Never mind. Um, I just have a great interpersonal. I have great interpersonal skills. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting again. Um, okay, I have great interpersonal skills, and I'm not afraid to. I'm not afraid to get the conversation going. I love collaborating with people and understanding their needs as well as my own. And um, I am a motivator and I motivate others to a common goal. Mm.
Okay, okay. All right, I like it. Good start. It's a very good start. I know
Mm.
I changed it up. A very common question you get is, what is your greatest weakness? So I switched it up on you. I gave you, what is your greatest strength? So to
Okay.
answer this one, you're going to basically kind of do the opposite of what you would do with the weaknesses. So
Hmm.
for the greatest strengths, you're going to want to talk about something that you're obviously good at that is highly relevant and important to the job. So when you started to talk about interpersonal skills, I was like, okay, that's very good start. You're going to want to talk about something directly relevant that's helpful for this role, which is exactly that. Then you're going to
Hmm.
need to talk about, an example that shows somebody, the interviewer, how you are so good at that skill. And in your case, um, uh, uh, I think you started to give an example and then you kind of stopped yourself, but I think you should go down that route of talking about an example that shows how good you are with your interpersonal skills. And then um, ideally you want to talk about how you would be really excited to bring this to the team or the company and how you can help train or teach others about your skill set.
Okay.
So you want to give this one another go because I feel like you're really, really close.
Okay.
What is
I'm
your
gonna
greatest
put.
strength?
Okay. I'm going to quickly put up the notes from the job thing. Sorry. Um, mm, I don't know why I'm starting to doubt myself because I don't think I'm going to be a great fit for this job.
No, it's okay. You got this.
I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at it again. It's like, I shouldn't be applying for this job. And why does this person want to interview me?
Well, they clearly saw something on your resume that makes you a good fit, right? So they wouldn't
Yeah.
have wanted to interview you tomorrow if they didn't think you were going to be a good fit.
Yeah. But I'm all like, I'm looking at the must haves and like the nice to haves. And it's like, I barely reach any of that. But okay, here it goes. Um, I have great interpersonal skills because um, I was able to create a outreach task force within my company, bringing in different voices from different programs to reach a common goal of getting more people on board in the company to participate in more outreach opportunities in the Santa Clara County area. And from here, I was able to learn about each and everyone's background as well as their understanding of interacting with the community so that we can um, obtain more clients for SourceWise.
And then the result?
And the result of that, sorry, and the result of that is that I was able to, at the end of implementing the task force, I was able to get at least uh, 3 to 4 people within SourceWise to continue to participate in outreach services.
Good. There you go. All right. Much better.
Woo woo.
Much, much better. Great job.
Yeah.
And the chat is definitely showing you a lot of love and support.
Yeah, I have really bad imposter syndrome.
But that's okay. A lot of these interviews will help you break that down. And Judy had a great tip. It's a virtual interview. You can put notes on or near your monitor. I think it is very, very helpful. Just be very mindful not to use it too much as a crutch. And I see La Renee both and I wear glasses. And so just be mindful when you are switching windows, you see how the light changes on my face.
Mm-hmm.
So the interviewer will figure it out that you are reading from something, especially if they can see your eyes. So just be very careful of that. I always recommend, like, if anything, you just have like a very small post-it, like right here next to your camera. That's not even that big. I wouldn't go like with the full-on Word document up in front of you because it does, as you can tell, it gets very obvious when I'm switching between windows. And
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll even be able to see my eyes, right? If I'm like reading some type of script before I answer. So just be
Right.
very mindful of that. All right, cool. If anyone in the chat has questions you want us to practice, let us know. Larene, describe your ideal boss.
Hmm. My ideal boss is someone who has an effective communication style, where they're able to communicate exactly what they want from me versus to give me little bits of pieces of information here and there. I'm the type of person that likes to have all the facts ahead of time. Now, I know not everyone is going to have that, but as long as they're well organized, and they're able to communicate their ideals to me clearly, and at the same time, I'm able to ask for clarification with them as well. Um, I also want a manager, sorry, who is understanding and compassionate, and um, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Can you tell me
Mm,
about a time when you demonstrated those leadership capabilities?
mm, I've demonstrated those capabilities, such as communication, where especially this always happens in the project initiation stage, where I have a few questions, and I do my best to communicate my answers to the person who I'm emailing. Um, and then I'm happy to provide clarification and also offer if there are any additional questions. And then where I'm compassionate or understanding, um, I have that open door policy where you can come to me and talk to me about anything. And I always will be understanding and will try to understand where you're coming from and ask for clarification as well.
Good. Very good. I like that answer a lot, especially the examples you walk through. Tammy has some good feedback for you. Be more assertive and direct. Convey a bit of higher energy. I think that'll be really good, and it'll really make a big difference for you. And when everything comes across more confident, you're kind of answering a lot of your questions with questions, right? You have that
Mhm.
inflection at the end, but a lot of your content is very good. So I would be confident about it.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we'll do one more question, I guess, and then if anyone else in the chat has questions, and I'm gonna grab some water while you answer this because there's something still stuck in my throat. Ah, La Renee, so this job has a multitude of different facets: marketing, business development, administration, accounting, etc. So you will be quite busy and sometimes having to juggle multiple tasks. How do
Mhm.
you stay organized?
How do I stay organized? Well, for right now, I am currently using Asana to keep on track of all my tasks. So I know that many of times we have different different forms of communication, as far as emails, calendar invites, and as well as new things happening within the project. So I treat everything that I do as a triage. I I organize the most important things at the top. I mean, I prioritize everything, the most important things at the top, as far as the due dates and what type of work that needs to be done in order to get that specific task, or yeah, the specific task to be done. So that's how I stay organized, is I use the tools such as Outlook to plan my date. I use common tools as flagging. I use the calendar to set up time to work on things, and then in Asana, I make follow up tasks. I keep on updating my due dates and stuff like that. That's how I stay organized.
Okay, very good. Now,
Mhm.
one thing to keep in mind is if the company doesn't have Asana, you're going to want to be
Mhm.
able to address that follow-up question, right? Which would be, oh,
Right.
La Renee, that's fantastic, but unfortunately, we don't have Asana here. So how are you going to stay
Mhm.
organized if you don't have it? So then you're going to want to make sure you can talk through
Right.
that. All right, Judy has a great question, and I don't know what company this would actually be for. I think, um, what is this place? Work Vision Consulting is the staffing agency that's going to be placing you. I don't think
Mhm.
this is the actual company, but um,
Mhm.
Judy's practice question is, why do you want to work for whatever client this is, and what makes you the best candidate for the job?
Okay. So the reason why I want to work for this is because I love diversity and inclusion as well as social justice. That's one of my true passions is giving back to a community or underserved population. And the reason why I would be best fit for this position is because I'm new to marketing, and everything that is thrown at me at this position, it will be throwing it at a blank canvas. So I'm coming in there with a fresh mind. So things that may be traditional, I mean, I will come with non-traditional strategies to reach your audience, or um, to reach our audience and have a fresh new look on ideals on how we can better market the company vision consulting.
Okay, okay. I would be very cautious of admitting that you're going to be coming in new to marketing. Uh,
Mm,
Blank canvas may not be the right way to pitch it, just because
mm,
it's kind of like admitting, hey, I've got no marketing experience for this marketing assistant role, right? Which is going to be more of a red flag than an advantage, if
mm.
that makes sense,
Okay.
right? Especially like since a lot of these responsibilities are marketing related.
Right.
I wouldn't go with that as like what makes you the best candidate, right? Like I'm
Okay.
the best candidate because I have no marketing experience. That's like
Right.
not the, I would go with something else, right? Like
Okay.
I've got the perfect combination of marketing as well as DE&I as well as, something else. And then
Right.
talk about how you've been able to, gain all those skills either through SourceWise or from SourceWise plus other things you've done, right?
Okay.
Or, so some type of story that weaves this all together.
Okay. Okay. Should we give it a little go again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
Okay.
let's let's give it a go again.
Okay. So, rewind. Um, I have experience in marketing as far as editing and publishing content on our website, as well as sharing our content to multiple social media platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. In addition to that, I do have experience with moderating and presenting at webinars, as well as moderating a Facebook group. If you didn't see at the bottom of my resume, I do collaborate with 3 streamers who are active on Facebook gaming. And that's something I really enjoy, and I feel like I can bring that experience into the position as well.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Tammy is loving that answer. Let's go. Charles has a question. How do you handle environments where last minute matters come up or things are constantly changing?
Hmm. I typically deal with this a lot at SourceWise, especially when we're in the editing and finalization of a specific content. So when I was working on branding our new fall prevention program, I was working with my director, and we already finalized the content, and then she went back in and reread it and said, "Hey, this needs to be changed." So, and the deadline was getting near to it. So what I did was I reviewed her edits, and then done my little magic on there, and then to cut things in half and not go through our um, our translation service. I went and outsourced to a person within our company to do the translation for Spanish. So from there, I was able to Google Translate myself and then send it over to them to edit and review. From there, I was able to save about 3 days. So I was able to get it done in 2 days instead of three. Um, and that happens a lot at my job. So I can most definitely roll with sudden changes and being, as far as I can roll with definitely with sudden changes. This is when I become most resourceful.
And the result of that project?
Oh, the result of that project was I was able to create the content in a timely manner. If that's I don't really have metrics on the results. Only thing I can pretty much say is that I either got it done on time or I saved money on the cost.
I think saving money is a good one. I would encourage
Okay.
you to, track more metrics, especially if you're continuing to be interested in marketing roles. It's
Mhm.
going to be good to have some type of metrics related to it, or if you need to like guesstimate the metrics. But
Mhm.
it's going to definitely be something that people are going to be looking for. Yeah. And then you also had a part in there where you said where you worked your magic.
Mhm.
That's actually the part that they're going to want to know, right? Like, what is that
Okay.
magic? So
Okay.
don't skip that part, if anything,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because that's what would make you different than everyone else, right? Is that magic.
Okay.
Okay. Albert, do we have time for one more question, or are we at limit? I want to take that as yes, Corey. We have time for one more question.
Yeah,
This one,
sure.
sorry.
Let's get La Renee ready.
All right. So this is from Tammy. Um, oh no, actually, I don't think this is a question. I think she's helping us provoke thought. Never mind. I apologize, Tammy. I thought you were asking a question. Okay. Is there anything in the Zoom chat? Let me just see here. All right. Nope. All right. I think we're all good.
Oh
La Renee?
We have
there is one.
what drains you in
What
your
brings
work?
you in your work?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, what motivates me? Okay. So what drains me? Hmm. I think what drains me is that we have so many ideals to uh, to make a process simpler, and we don't take initiative to explore that at my current job. So it's kind of hard to explore and express that when you have a manager who does not want to who likes the way things are done. So what I've done is just say my piece. I well, not say my piece, but give an example of how we can make our daily lives better with a specific service. But yeah, I don't know what drains me. I'm sorry. But that's something that's been bothering me a lot. And micromanaging drains me too. It's like let me ask for help, or let me ask for a certain step if I need to. Like I
Yeah.
want my manager to be able to trust my abilities, because that's why you hired me.
Right, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Um, so Tammy, sorry, I read this, but I wasn't sure if this was an interview question. Um, but we'll give it a try. So, what problems are you there to solve? So I think I'm supposed to ask if I were to hire you for this role, what problems are you going to solve for me? Although I feel like this is like something that I would be answering as a hiring manager. Like I would be telling you what problem needs to be solved. But
Right.
um, yeah, Tammy says it's an interview question. Okay, I'll just read it as it is, and then you interpret the question as you feel, Larene.
Okay. Okay.
What problems are you here to solve, and how do you plan on making a difference in my company?
I'm sorry, I haven't dug deep into the company yet. That this today was supposed to be the day where I dug deep. Um, hmm. Well, just to make it up, I noticed that on your Facebook group, the engagement has the engagement in your Facebook group has been quite low, and the questions that people are asking in your Facebook book group could be a little bit better. So I think I would work on the process of showing more compassion when answering questions within the Facebook group.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't think I answered the question.
And
Oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't even think I should do the interview now. Oh my goodness.
no, you
I'm
should do
so
the
hard on
interview. Don't
myself, guys.
worry.
So
Don't worry
sorry.
about it. You can do the interview tomorrow. The recruiter clearly saw something, and that is why that they want that they want you to interview. So I think it's a strong idea to have in your mind as you're interviewing for the company, no? Um, uh, I think the second part of your question, Tammy, is something you're going to want to make sure you understand, right? Like basically, what is your secret sauce? What makes you different than every other candidate? And like basically how you're going to make a difference. That is definitely something you're going to want to have in your mind. The first part, though, what problems are you there to solve? I mean, other than whatever's in the job description, La Renee won't have won't have any other details about what the specific problem is that they're looking for, other than that they need a marketing assistant to do X, Y, and Z things. So that's usually more of like a hiring manager that's going to answer that first one, like what problems are you there to solve. Other than that, because without that context, all she'll be able to do is just repeat things that are in the um, job description. And then Judy had a question, which is kind of the opposite of the what drains you in your work. What motivates you?
Mm, what motivates me is learning something new. Um, when I learn something new, of course I'm going to be hard on myself because I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it correctly the right way. But with a little practice and a little hope that I have in myself, learning a new skill is rewarding because every new skill you learn, you're able to use it in your life, personally or professionally. For example, I'm currently in the process of learning about UX design. However, one of the skills that they inquire you to have is empathy. And I learned about empathy in my college and during my time in school, about learning about different people's cultures and learning about um, the barriers and risk factors that they do face if they're going for a prevention service or just to go to a simple hospital. So having that empathy and always thinking about the other person, that motivates me in learning. Well, currently, me learning UX design is something that motivates me because it's something I'm interested in and I want to do great in.
Okay. I really like that answer choice too, because in this role you will have to learn a lot of new skills since, there's
Mhm.
all these different responsibilities. So I think that's really good. I'd be very cognizant of how you word it though, right? You said I love to learn new skills even though I won't do it correctly,
Mhm.
right? That's not something you're going to want to tell your manager who's going to need you to constantly learn new skills, is that
Right.
you're not going to do it correctly. So I would just avoid that whole part,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm too honest with myself sometimes.
Sometimes a little too honest. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Just a little. Just a
Okay.
little bit. Just a little bit. Cool. Well, thank you everybody. We loved all the questions. This was perfect. Really, really like everyone's participation today. Huge love for Renee tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. You're gonna do fantastic. And then again, if anyone wants additional tips and tricks, you can check out Albert's Job Listings YouTube channel or mine, the Career Shakers YouTube channel
Mhm.
as well. Albert, back to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. By the way, we do have a couple more questions in the comments section, one from Judy about discovering more data after the fact, and I think one from Edwards around relating to tasks or people. I didn't know if you wanted to answer those.
Related to task or people. What is that one a follow-up to?
I'm not sure, actually.
Related to tasks or people? Yeah, Edward, if you want to put in the chat what that one is a follow-up to, I will answer that one. Judy, what if in your research you discover some current events about the company, but seen in a negative light, i.e. the data breach? Yeah, okay. All right, that makes sense. Should you bring it up or totally avoid it at all costs? Like I've done lots of research. Love that. If it is a genuine concern of yours, I would bring it up after the interviews are done. You don't want to bring up anything potentially controversial that may hinder you from getting your offer. I always recommend you do this at the end, right? Oh, thank you so much for the offer. I'm super excited about the company. However, I did have some questions. I've been seeing certain things in the press recently, and I would love to speak with my manager one more time about, X, Y, and Z. So do that when you get your offer, just because you never know how it could be perceived if you were to do it during the actual interview itself. Edward, what are the problems you are going to solve when you join the company related to tasks or people? What are the problems you're going to solve when you join the company related to tasks or people? Related to tasks or people.
So it sounds like what kind of problems you solve. Are you're not just solving problems for business wise, but you might also be solving people process. Oh, it's just a comment for now. Oh, okay. All right. No worries then. Cool. Corey, any final thoughts before I take us out here?
No, I just think sometimes folks will experience these moments like La Renee may be feeling tonight, where you feel these moments of imposter syndrome of I don't know if I'm qualified for this, or I don't know if I should do this.
I think she's gonna knock it
I've
out of
worked.
the park tomorrow. You know, she's
Yeah, I
got
feel
her
like
all of her
you're
jitters out on this video tonight.
exactly, and
Yeah.
I have a few clients that feel the same way too. Just remember, right? Like if a recruiter saw you or saw your resume or saw your LinkedIn and they approached you for this role or they called you back and want you to interview, they see that there is some potential, even if you don't think there's 100% match, which is totally fine because in this role, no one can be 100%, right? I don't know anyone that knows accounting, marketing, business development, and admin all at the same time. So I would walk in there with that sense of confidence, but also be a little inquisitive at the beginning, right? Ask them about the role itself, what they're looking for, what are the immediate projects that they're working on, which of these four skills really matter the most, and then you can build your case from there. So I would always walk in there with the positive mindset. Remember, their time is valuable, your time is valuable. So they wouldn't want to grab 30 to 40 minutes with you if they didn't think it was going to be a good use of their time either. So I definitely think imposter syndrome, it can be a big barrier for a lot of people, but with the right approach and also preparation, you'll do great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, wonderful. Thank you, Corey and La Renee, for joining us this evening, and thank you for those of you who are in the Zoom room and on the Facebook page for investing time in your career tonight. If you enjoyed this event, we have a lot more scheduled this week, or actually we don't have any more events scheduled this week, but we have events scheduled for the rest of the month. Visit our Eventbrite page or the Facebook events page under Albert's Job Listings and Referrals in the Facebook group, linked in the, excuse me. Oh, wow, what a day. If you enjoyed this event, we have many more scheduled events going on for the rest of the month. They can be found within our events tab in our Facebook group, as well as the Eventbrite page, which I just linked, where you can RSVP, and we will see you there. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Good luck, La Renee, on your interview tomorrow. You are going to kill it. And we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.